the chord progression lesson done by today. Didn't quite work out with that with all the things I have going on. So I actually did a lot of work on it, but I just felt like it was going to be a little rushed for tonight. So I'm pushing that off to next Friday. I think we're going to take Sunday off just to give myself a little bit of a break here. So just to let everybody know that right off the bat, we're taking off Sunday. We'll meet again on Friday, of course. And I'll bring probably, well, not probably, I will definitely bring a great lesson with me. I've been putting a lot of work into it, and I think you'll enjoy it. But for today, I'm just like going to go over the website really quick, and then I think we're going to, I don't know, just have like a discussion as a group. I'll probably teach things throughout, but it's not like a concrete lesson plan. So, like I just helped Brian here, I'll just take some questions on some things maybe you've been working on recently, maybe some things that you have questions about, maybe in any of my recent videos. By the way, a new video dropped today. I put it out rather 2 p.m. today, and check that out. Well, if you've been to the live stream, you've pretty much seen it, but it's edited together in a way that's a bit snappier and easier to digest. My tablet just turned off here. Here we go. It's back on again. Okay, so here we go. Okay, Santi says, yeah, sorry about that, Rich, but like I said, I just felt like it was going to be a little bit rushed, and it will be even much better next week. I'll make it really, really, really good. Because, when you make a video on a topic, you can only really make that video once every probably 6 months. Because you can't do a video twice on YouTube. The problem is if you do it like too close together. So say I make a video on the chord progression thing and it just doesn't turn out as well as I had hoped. Well, I'm just gonna have to wait a long time before I can make the video that I had always wanted on it. So I'm trying to like get it right the first time. I mean, it's a bigger lesson, so it's really important to me to get it right. So it'll be even better next week. Okay, thank you, Shesk. Santi says, do you have a goal that you wanted to achieve for piano? Me? Well, my goal had not always been, but ever since I had been an adult, probably 18 and over, I wanted to be a music teacher, and here we are. So I guess I've reached it. In terms of lately getting better at piano, I don't have any right now. I mean, other than teaching the lessons. I was telling a student earlier today that just teaching alone has made my sight reading skills way, way better, because not only am I playing, the pieces for them, and there are a lot of times they're pieces I've never read before, but I am also watching for their mistakes when they play. So, in my mind, I'm always reading the music along with them and actually reading on their fingers. It actually just makes me even better. So I'm a very good sight reader now. In terms of goals, I don't have many right now. Someday maybe I would like to go back to graduate school for music, in which case I would definitely get way into practicing again, but not at this point in my life. I have too many other things going on. Rich says, does StaffPad do other things besides writing notes? Does it have lessons or teaching sections? I don't think it does. Has templates. What is templates? What do the templates say? Well, it does have templates, so if you're looking to make a big band kind of arrangement or a brass quintet, which I accidentally clicked on, it kind of like compiles the instruments you need right there. There might be a problem if you need to adjust, but adjusting those in StaffPad is easy. In terms of learning lessons, though, well, they have demo scores. Claire de Lune is a very nice song. I'm afraid to play it on the live stream here. And, okay, it looks like you can buy instruments, which is interesting. There's even a ukulele, a Gibson Les Paul. I kind of want that one. But these are just instruments you can write with. Video help, interactive lessons, but those are more lessons on using StaffPad itself. So Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a teaching thing on it. All right, let's see here. All right, let me go back here. We're going to talk probably more about Staff Pad later in the lesson. So here is the new website. It looks a lot like the old website, doesn't it? There's a few differences. One is it has SSL encryption now, so everything is nice and secure. I mean, it was still secure before, but now it is, even more so. Like it's always been secure because you're never really putting your personal info into the site. I mean, you put in your to log in, you put in your email, but you're never really putting, at least before you weren't putting your credit card info because it would take you to Shopify and they would do it there and they had SSL encryption, so it was all taken care of. But now it's like all right on the website, so it's a lot easier to sign up and things like that. Basically, it runs a whole lot nicer. It should load faster. It does for me certainly. It's on a different kind of server and a different type of web provider. And now it also says piano lessons on the web.com at the top of the bar. But if you type in one of them breaks, I think it's just lessons on the web. But if you type in www.lessons on the web, it should redirect you to this page. But anyway, some things that are going on is me and Robin, my assistant, are mostly she's doing the work. As you can see here, most of the blogs are written by Robin. But anyway, Robin writes a lot of the blogs, and we are currently moving them over here. So if you're missing a blog here, don't worry, it will be moved over very soon. And which reminds me, on the community page, which there is a newish community page, it looks slightly different. It looks very similar. I mean, you can attend the live stream by clicking there. It makes it real easy. And then also you can see the days we are meeting. I'm going to try to plan ahead when I'm taking off a little bit better than I have been. Like I said, I just have so many things going on right now personally that keep me from making all of the live streams, unfortunately. But if I can know ahead of time, I will let you know. But as you can see, the next few Sundays, the next few Fridays are booked. I'll try to remember, though, that this Sunday we're taking off. And then I believe if you click on this, the one other thing I have to do here, it will be done the next couple of days, is put in the topics for what we're talking about. So if you click on a date, it should tell you what the topic is for that date. At least it did on desktop. Oh, you know what? If you go down, it lists the next few live streams. And it just says Friday live stream right now because there's no topic. But if you want to look at the coming up live streams, what the topics are, they will be listed there in a couple of days. Still kind of moving some things over and around here. And yeah, I mean, you can just expect it to look a whole lot nicer, work a whole lot better. Like if you go to if you're not familiar, by the way, my online academy over on my website, I have a ton of courses I made over there. You, of course, don't have to go over there and enroll, but I highly suggest you check it out. Just read through some of the pages, see if it's for you. If you really like the lessons that I've been putting out, you will really like the stuff over here because it really just builds on that and covers a lot of things I haven't covered in the YouTube channel. But as you know, there's like little graphical flair. Like now when I click on the buttons, it has like little lights, and it looks real nice, and things like that. And it's better from an SEO standpoint with the piano lessons on the web rather than just lessons on the web. So that's just some of the minor changes that we've made. Oh, wait. Okay, I missed a bunch of comments. Hold on, everybody. Okay, nah, you're right with that. Okay, I read that one. Yeah, Playtale, I love Claire Lune. I could play part of it. I'm just going to have to probably cut it out. But that's okay. Thanks for the answer. Okay, you're welcome. Here, sold your old keyboard, felt like losing a pet. Yeah, that's very true. I still have my old piano from forever ago. It does redirect him, but are you changing domain, specifically piano lessons? Well, the domain is, I own both domains, so lessons on the web transfers to pianolessonsontheweb.com. And my original thought was I wanted to have a website with a bunch of different instruments that you can learn, but clearly the way the YouTube channel and everything is going with me personally, it's going a lot more towards the piano aspect. What I intend to do is have like branching sites that are also connected to lessons on the web. It'll be, you'll see what I mean when I'm ready for that. I'm planning on getting somebody to make some guitar lessons for me, probably sometime in the next year. So it's quite a bit off, but I do have like a system for how this whole thing will work. But for right now, lessons on the web just redirects to piano lessons on the web. Okay, wait a second. It does. Okay. It does at the bottom. What do you mean it does at the bottom? Not as nice as the old one. I'm not sure what you. Cowbell lessons on the web. What's not as nice as the old one, Shesk? Sandy says, another thing I'm curious, why is the title of one of your videos that you uploaded in German? Are you German? Do you speak German? Very little German. I do have German blood, and I spoke it for a tiny bit in high school, but I don't remember like anything. The reason for that is, I'm still looking at the cowbells lessons on the web, but the reason behind that is that I was just playing around with getting things translated because I heard that you could get more watch time on your videos if the tags and the titles and also the closed captions were translated, and it costs a lot of money. So I was just testing it on a few videos, and unless somebody is willing from the community, maybe I'll make a video on this. Somebody from the community is willing to translate my videos for me, that would be tremendous help. But as you know, that would take a lot of time and effort on their part. Oh, the calendar. Well, Shesk, that changes under the calendar. Oh, I see. I can actually change the calendar back to the old one it was. I went. Why did I go with this one? I think I went with it. There was a reason. I don't remember. There's a reason why I chose that one over the old one. I can switch it back, and in fact, it's very likely that, considering what you said, I might change it back. Okay, Dank showing. Lots of stuff is going on. Okay. All right, I think I got to everything. Okay, so I might change that calendar back. I also have to put the live stream recordings in there, but that's basically what you can expect. I mean, it has some social icons and stuff you don't really absolutely have to know about, but this is something important to me. So if I know some people really get bothered if I put things, only a couple people really, I think, they get bothered if I put things out that I've made that you might have to pay for or whatever. But this is stuff that's very important to me. I put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this kind of stuff. So I'm just sharing it with you. You don't have to sign up. So don't unsubscribe quite yet if you're watching the recording of this. So more free lessons on the YouTube channel are on the way. But if you really want to get to the nitty gritty of everything and become even better playing piano, you should really check it out. Rich says, Tim, any advice on playing long pieces? I tend to lose focus if the song is multiple page and then I make mistakes. I would just do it learn and practice one page at a time on a piece. And then, do you mean that you've mastered the whole thing and then you go through and then by the time you're bored? Or do you mean when you're learning it, you get to the second or third page and you're like, oh, this is kind of getting boring or things like that? I can make a whole lesson on that, but for playing long pieces, well, it's something that you probably develop. I mean, by playing longer pieces. I get what you mean, though. Like when I play a really long piece, for sure, it's much more of an effort to play the piece from beginning to end than it is for a short song. But I think it's just something you would get used to. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could make some points. when you're learning it. Okay, so that kind of clarifies it a little bit because playing it's a little bit different. Playing it, it's like, well, you just kind of have to get used to playing something that long. Learning it's a little different. I would learn it page by page. So, maybe just for whatever week you're on, just worry about, well, maybe not for the whole week, but maybe for that practice day. Let me put it this way. You learn the first page of a song, right? It makes sense. That's where you'd start learning the song on the first page. So you have the first page learned, and then the next week comes by. Work mostly on the second page. I mean, still practice the first page a little bit to kind of change things up, but mostly work on the second page. Don't worry about trying to play through from the beginning all the way through to that next page. You really want to focus in on each page and focus in even on each section they're in trouble with, which I've outlined in some of those other videos that we talked about recently. But you want to just break it down into smaller sections, and then when you start to develop those sections and you start to get really good at them, try fitting them together. Then, so say week 1 you learn page 1, week 2 you learn page 2, and then but you're mostly working on page 2, but you're still practicing page 1. Then week 3 comes around, and then depending on how hard it is, you might be ready to move on to page 3. So on week 3, mostly practice page 3. But when you've played page 3 maybe like 3 or 4 times, and you're like, oh, I'm starting to get tired of this, then play page 2 and 1. So you always want to be working on the most difficult section. I wouldn't worry about, like I said, starting from the beginning and working up to where you are all the time. Like, that's something that you definitely want to practice every once in a while. But most of your practice should be just on the page you're working on. And yes, even then, it can get kind of boring just doing that and working through the tough sections. And then, maybe make some goals too. That might help motivate you some. So if you're really working on page 3, you did it, like I said, week at a time for each page. You might even have to do 2 weeks at a time for each page, like I said, depending on how hard it is. Say, well, I'm still getting bored, I'm on page 3, and I'm just taking me way longer. Maybe it's taking me 3 weeks instead of 1 week like the other pages. What do I do? Well, it's just set a goal. Like if it's taking you longer and it's just dragging and it's really boring, just say by the end of this week I'm gonna have this page done. Because I tell my students this all the time, right? They practice, and then I get there and I can tell there's just a part they're not practicing, and they don't like it. They just don't like that section, and I always tell them, well, if you don't like it, you should practice it more. Therefore, we don't have to talk about it anymore. We can just move on from there. We don't have to talk about it at all anymore, and just move on from there. And then you can move on to different things. So a big part of learning piano and getting better at piano is really trudging through the not as pleasant parts. But the way to get around those is just make goals. Just say, okay, well, after a week, I just want to be done with this section so I can finally move on. What you don't want to do is start abandoning songs and projects, because it will kind of set a bad precedent and might get you involved in bad habits where you're starting and dropping songs all the time. Maybe in a very rare case you should drop a song, but for the most part, stick with it until the end. Cowbell. Sometimes I get so frustrated when learning to play the piano, I consider changing to tambourine. It looks a bit easier, or cowbell. I missed your sense of humor here, Shesk. Tambourine. I could do a tambourine lesson, but tambourine lessons on the web. Yeah, don't do that all the time, Rich. Like I said, you can get away with it once in a while. Like if it's just killing you somehow, or actually a realistic scenario where you should drop a song is, say you're learning a song, you've been learning it for, I don't know, maybe a month, and then say you're a professional musician. So you get a call one day, and it's somebody you're friends with in the choir, and they say, oh, well, we need to get this set of pieces done for the choir next month. Well, you should probably drop the piece you're practicing currently. I mean, you can come back to it, but then you should prioritize and work on the thing you're getting paid to do, or the thing that's the big obligation that a lot of people are depending on. You want to focus on that, but that's more on a professional professional level, when you should once in a while drop something just because you only have so many hours in a day. The worst thing is when you have to drop something you really like. Cowbell. Oh man. All right, does anybody else have any questions? I'm going to stick around here for at least a little bit longer. Sorry I didn't have a lesson for you today, a formal lesson, but like I said, I just want to let it cook a little bit longer. And it just pains me to put out stuff that just isn't quite there because it just bothers me so much. I want to put out the original lesson I intended. But yeah, we'll stick around. We'll answer some questions. Let me see if I missed any. It's great to have everybody, a whole gang back again. The only one we're missing is Manny. Real Shesk says, you mentioned eventually going back to grad school. What would you specialize in? Anything specific? Piano pedagogy, so teaching piano. And then I guess in theory I could charge more money for the one-on-one lessons I do. I don't know if I'd even really want to do that, because then you only get a very certain kind of clientele. And I don't know. I kind of like the people that are in the middle. Like, don't get me wrong, I would teach high level students, people who are trying to get into graduate school or whatever at a very high price. But I probably still teach a lot of the children and the middle aged people getting back into playing piano, or people like Rich or myself who are in their late 20s or into their 30s who want to get back to playing the piano. So I kind of want to stick with those because I don't know, those just seem like more real people to me. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I just want a variety of clientele. And I wouldn't mind having really ritzy clients. But I don't know. I'm just a very free opportunity kind of guy. More than likely, what I would do, though, is I'd probably use it to just put out better courses on the website. So it would be really handy there, because I could just take all that knowledge I'm learning and make some courses on it and put it online for everybody. Rich says, do you think I have enough knowledge to teach beginners? Do you think I have enough? Well, that's yes. You could definitely teach some children, or maybe like some young adults. If you can play, hmm, yeah, because children, like if you did, like, say from six, I like that they're to have them at least at 6 years old, and even at 6 years old, sometimes it's a little bit iffy. But at 6 years old, they at least have some development and are usually well behaved enough to sit down for maybe half an hour. Sometimes they get a bit antsy towards the end, even at 6, to sit down with. But you could probably do from 6 to, well, it's hard to put an age on it, because really you could have an adult that's a beginner that you could probably teach. Honestly, if you know more than them, you could probably teach them. You would definitely want to practice first teaching those topics. So if you were trying to get into teaching piano, maybe like in your neighborhood, or just one of the best ways to start, I think, is if you have a friend that wants to learn piano, because obviously you're friends with them, they're going to be pretty forgiving, and they're going to be a great like experiment to see how you do. Now, like I still have my first student that I ever had. I've gained and lost, some along the way for sure. But the very first student I still have, and when I first started teaching him, yeah, I had gone to college and whatever, but I really didn't know nearly as much about teaching and the method on how to teach, and it's just something you really pick up teaching many people. I didn't really pick that up until a bit later after I started teaching him, but he's still a great musician, now. Like, he might even go to music school, which would make me very happy. If he doesn't, that's okay, totally cool with me. But he's very into music, and I'm very proud of him. And he was my first student, and I didn't have all the things I have today on him. So I actually recommend you get, and these are people that, by the way, just live like right up the street from me, and it was really easy. I kind of considered them friends already, so it made it a whole lot easier. They actually gave me, they actually hired me because they just knew me. They didn't really know much about my teaching experience. They knew I was fresh out of college. I just needed a chance, and they gave me that chance. So if you know somebody close to you that you can kind of develop your teaching technique on, then that is the way to go. And then branch out from there. See if they have any friends, or see if you can ask around the neighborhood or put up a flyer somewhere and catch a few more students. The great thing about teaching piano is you don't need, I mean, to make a living, you need to fill out your schedule. But if you just kind of want to do it on the side to see how you do with it, it's totally fine. Like, you can take 5 students on the weekend, or 2 students on the weekend, or maybe when you get off work, teach a student. And then if it builds from there, that's actually how it happened with me. I worked at a library for like 7 years, and I just taught piano like on the weekends or whenever I wasn't at work. And then eventually it got big enough to where I could leave that job because I was making a lot more money. So that's the way it worked out. But, I would start small. I would find somebody teach them, and then see if it's for you. I think teaching, don't get me wrong, the background you have is very important. Teaching is a lot more about the temperament you have and your patience and your ability to communicate ideas. It has a lot more to do with that than it does the background. Now, don't get me wrong, the music background is important. I'm not saying the education isn't important, but honestly, if you have, I would say the how you are as a person is even more important than your education. I know people who are super highly educated that can't explain anything to anybody. So they do better, working, maybe a standard desk job or something where they're working, or maybe where they work just better on their own. Okay. I think I miss. Hey, Richard Raff's back. How you doing, Richard? Glad to have you with us today. All right, here we go. Brian says, "Don't worry too much about charging on a few lessons, man." Well, thank you for saying that. From what I've seen, you offer great content for free, much more than any others I try to look up. Thank you for saying that. I put a lot of time and effort into the channel. If you ever start a YouTube channel, or you may have one now, you know that in the beginning it is a huge labor of love. The AdSense does not pay hardly anything. Like, it's a, like, don't be wrong, I'd rather have the AdSense than not have it, but it's not going to change my life. It's not where it's like going to make me be able to really do much different. It'll help maybe pay a couple of bills, or a bill, during the month, but it's certainly nothing huge. So a lot of it in the beginning is a labor of love, and a lot of the extra things I kind of add in there, like with the website and the Patreon. They really just help keep things afloat, because it's something that I really love to do. I do want to make an entire living out of it, and I'm certainly moving in that direction. But there's a lot of stuff that I just kind of do up front, a lot of work I put in. So thank you for noticing that. That I really appreciate that. Thank you, Shesk, for agreeing with him. Also, your idea to get other teachers on your site is a great idea to centralize lessons. I agree. I think if I could kind of bring everybody together, and even maybe I want to connect with the other YouTubers that play piano. Like me and Rich have talked about a bunch, but right now I'm just, like I mentioned before, I'm just so busy with personal things going on. Things will probably settle a bit, and then I'll be more free to expand, because right now I'm just really trying to concentrate on doing the things I'm doing right now well. I don't want to reach out too far and then have everything fall apart. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Hey everybody, and then let's see. Santi says, "I'm very new to playing key instrument. Bought a keyboard just like a month ago. It's so fun. I can't believe I waited 20 more years. of my life before starting to play an instrument. I'm so happy for you. If I'm pronouncing your name right, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize, Santi. But that is terrific. I'm really glad to hear that. Shesk brings up a good point. Shesk says, Rich, do you live in a country where you can enroll in college classes for free distance learning? If you do, you should try and look into pedagogy. I'm actually not as familiar with that second word, Shesk. And Andragogy? Pedagogy. Andragogy. Course management and similar courses, even a single class semester makes a huge difference. Yeah, it really also depends on like what the course is. So if it's a course that is very applicable, you know how like I don't know if you've experienced this, but like when going to college or anything or university, some of the courses definitely had much bigger impact on me than the others. So I think it depends on the course, but if you get the right course, then it probably would help. But yeah, I'd look into it, Rich. See if there's any. See if like Berkeley has an online. I think they have an online program, but I believe with a lot of these online music schools that are real online music schools, these are like Berkeley, maybe the University of Phoenix. There's a few that do online, like real music school. You pay tons of money to go to, but they may have it where you can take a single class and then maybe just find a class on piano pedagogy and take that. There's probably something free too. Pretty good, Tim. I hope you're doing just fine. Just tuning in before going to sleep. Haha, 2:30 a.m. Oh man, it is late for you. Glad to have you with us though. Glad you were able to finally make it. I know some of us like Shesk, of course. It's not as convenient. We definitely appreciate all your hard work, Tim. You're very welcome. Oh, is it? That makes a lot of sense. Teaching children. Okay. I got you. Pedagogy. I get it. Yeah. Andragogy. It's 2:30 there, too. Well, it's great talking with everybody. I think I'm going to hang out here maybe for just a few more minutes. If I can think of anything to tell you about on what's going on, I will do that. Like I said, I'm still planning on collaborating with other YouTubers, but I have to hold off on that idea for right now. I'm really looking to expand everything. The channel's doing very well, by the way. I took that YouTube course in the summer with Tim Schmoyer from Video Creators. If you want to check it out, if you want to grow your own YouTube channel, it's probably one of the best things I could do for him is just shout him out. But anyway, I took his course over the summer. I learned a ton. I worked really, really hard because I did all this business stuff at the same time. Burned myself out just a little bit, unfortunately. But I hung in there for the course, and I learned a ton of stuff, and it's going really, really well. The videos are doing better all the time. And the channel is finally growing at an increasing rate again, which is pretty good. I like it. Austria, Germany's little bro. I love it. Alright, I'm going to play a round of the B flat blues because that's the safest thing I can possibly play on the YouTube channel. And then Clair de Lune is a good idea, but I'm so afraid to play it because I have a feeling like as soon as the video is done publishing, I'm going to get like a little flag that's going to say demonetized. You have to take it out, and then I'm going to have to take it out. So I'm just going to play B flat blues. You can look up. You know what I'm going to do, actually? Speaking of Clair de Lune, I have right here. Where'd it go? I have right here, guys. Check it out. Check it, check it. Where is it? Here it is. I found it. I found it the other day. It is my senior recital from college, and I'm going to put it up on the YouTube channel. Now, obviously, I won't be able to monetize it at all, which is no problem. I just kind of want to show you, what I did for my senior recital, and I have it right here, and it's probably like, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes, a half hour at least, of me playing. And I play a Haydn Sonata. I play a bunch of stuff by Debussy. Actually, I don't think I play Clair de Lune in this, but I play, Children's Corner by Debussy, which is a whole collection of songs. I play, what was it? Bartok. There's things by Bartok. I forget what they're called though. This is in 2010, so 6 years ago. From March, so over 6 years ago. So I will eventually get this into video file format, and I'll put it up on the YouTube channel for everybody to take a look. So that's a special gift for you guys. I'm not sure exactly what day that's coming out, or even if it's coming out this week, but I have it there, and everything is all set for me to put it up. I will still be flagged rich, I believe so. Now, if I play it in a different key, I don't think I will be. Really weird thing. It's like based on pitches and rhythm, and they have a very sophisticated technology that matches them up. So even if I play them on a different instrument here, like, it will just trigger all kinds of things. Midnight Sonata, Piano Sonata, is public domain. Clair de Lune, is it public domain? If it's public domain, I'll play it, but I want like a good version of it. Sheska's so useful, and he always is messaging me like, hey man, like, I looked this up and this is what this is. He looked up, if you don't know from the last live stream we did, he looked up how to find the church hymnals online. Very, 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 very solid guy, Sheska is. Let's see. Oh, need to go. Good night, everybody. See you some other time. All right, Richard, we have a great lesson coming on Friday. Check it out if you want. But great to have you with us, and have a great week. Hello. Joke Bed Lewis is with us. How you doing, everybody? Sheska, I've been working on Midnight Sonata maybe in 6 months. I'll be finished. Yeah, that one does take a while. Okay. All right. See you later, Richard. Have a great one. Okay, let me see if I can find Clair de Lune. I just wanted to say, by the way, if you are looking for piano sheet music, go to IM, that's how letters work, imslp.org, and there's a wiki there where you can find a lot of scores on music, like really popular music. But it always makes you wait like 10 seconds. 15 seconds. We gotta wait. Gotta wait, gotta wait. Oh, here we go. I was too busy spacing out. Here we go. Clair de Lune. I have not played it in a long time, just to kind of let you know that. Alright, let me see what the notes are and everything. Okay. Wait. Let me turn it up a little bit. Turn some of the stuff on. This piano is a little bit better for it. scroll up. And brings us into the part that I am not quite as good at. I really do like this next part, but like I said, I've not played this one in a while. There we go. That's probably as far as I'm going to get. I would have to practice this one, but I thought it was a nice start anyway. What does the 2 above the 8th notes mean? Let's see. The 2, oh, those are tuplets. So basically, because this is a 9/8, we're splitting every beat into 3. This is like putting real 8th notes into 9/8. So it would be like, let me think about how to explain this. So like on the first line, so every 8th note gets 1 beat. So this last measure in the first line goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're splitting them up into 2s. I'm trying to remember how to do that. I'd have to make a lesson on that. I don't remember. I just remember kind of how to play it from when I played it a while ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I'm just splitting it up into 2. It's kind of weird. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it, but I just can't right now. But that's what it's about. They're just basically breaking up those beats into 2. The last two, well, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're breaking up the last 6 beats into 4 parts instead of 6. So for every 2, you would move there. Duplet. Did I say a tuplet? Tuplet is when you have a bunch of them, like 7, and then, so that would be a tuplet, or it can be any number, but a duplet is what this kind person has said, the 2, that is. Yep. So they've got it. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. I do not know that language. I'm so ignorant, but thank you for sharing with us. So a duplet, exactly, with 2. So you have a duplet, triplet, I guess a quadruplet, which would be just a 16th note, basically, in 4/4. But then you have a quintuplet, sextuplet, septuplet, and things like that. And those are all just called tuplets because tuplet or plet is at the end. Yep. Triplet is 3 in a beat. Yep. Or 3 in a designated period of time. It can actually be 3 over 2 beats if it's a quarter note triplet. So we had a lesson on triplets a few weeks ago where I kind of explained that in a little bit more detail. But, yep, same idea. It's been a great evening with everybody, even though I didn't teach a formal lesson. I feel like we did get some good discussion in here. And, I'm really glad to have everybody with us for this, having Shesk back. And we had comments from a lot of different people tonight, which makes me very happy. But, we, of course, can't manage that every single time. But the live streams are growing, and I'm really happy that there's, a bunch of people that are looking forward to not only attending the live stream but looking at the recordings afterwards. I do get comments, people asking me where the recordings are, which makes me feel good. So I don't know. I'm just really happy with that. I'm just really happy to have a community built around something that I care about, which is learning to play the piano. So it's pretty neat. So thank you for being a part of that. I think we're going to close up shop here. My allergies are kicking in, which is kind of weird because usually they don't kick in at night. They always seem to at the end of the live stream. I don't know. Kind of weird. All right, let's see if I missed any comments. Feel free to leave any comments before we go, everybody. If not, totally cool with me. Okay, so Chef says, with my change of jobs and all, I'm going to be much more consistent with my absence, Tim. So does that mean you're going to be absent more often? Or does that mean you're not going to be absent as often? If it means you're going to be able to make more, fantastic. If it means you can't make any, that's totally cool with me, but I would like to have you. I assume you're saying that you can make more of them, but I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up just yet. I'll start tuning in more. Yes, thank you for sharing with us. I really appreciate that. Feel free, if this is your first one that you're joining, it looks like you're new. So feel free to check out on Sundays and Fridays, except we are taking off next Sunday. So the next time we're meeting is next Friday. For me, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but whatever 50 minutes ago was for you, that's the time we start. So always feel free to come back. Always, and I really appreciate your comment. You really helped with the discussion. So thank you so much. Oh, nice. Okay. Yes, I will be absent more often, but at least show up 6 weeks in advance. Okay, whenever you can join us, Jess, totally cool with me. No pressure. I do like to joke around with you a little bit when you're not here, but um, that's just because I miss you. But yeah, no, totally cool. I'm really glad you can make it out tonight, and we have a great lesson for next Friday. If you can make it, great. If not, the recording will be up for you for sure. And like always, anybody can feel free to to follow the page on Facebook and contact me through the private messages there. A great way to get in contact with me. Email's okay too. That's more for like business stuff, but I can get to your emails there. But the Facebook and Twitter is always really good. And then if I ever have to, as many of the regular live stream attendees know, if I ever have to cancel, I'll let you know through either Facebook. Well, actually, I try to let you know through both Facebook and Twitter that I can't make it. So it's just my way of communicating with you if you want to follow me over there. Okay, I actually think I'll be able to consistently join 75% of the time, something like that. Okay, great, great. So you're saying now you have like more, you just know what's going on more on what you can attend and can't. That's great. So if you make any of them, I'm super grateful. But like I said, I understand people have their own lives to live, and I'm just happy, you could come out with us tonight. Okay, Sandy says, do you have any tips for beginners on hand independence? I get this question so much, I need to make a lesson on it. I've made lessons kind of skirting around the idea on how to improve this, but I haven't made a video that just really nails it on what to do. What I suggest you do, yes, so do one hand at a time, learn it by heart, and then the other one and combine them. If you're having a lot of trouble with hand independence, that's true, you should do that. It's easy playing with one hand, but as soon as I need both hands at the same time, really struggling. So yeah, it depends on how you practice as well. Exactly, and depending on what you're trying to do. But yes, that could work definitely in some cases. Doing it one hand at a time, learning it by heart, because the key behind that and why that will work is because you are committing one of them to memory, one of your hands. So you don't have to think about it as much, so therefore you'll be able to concentrate on both hands together. But the main thing, the number one piece of advice I can give you is to go about it slow. If you feel like you're putting it together and it's not working out, you just can't keep up, you need to slow it way down. And sometimes you have to play it painfully slow for it to work. But certainly, mastering each hand separately will help because, like I said, there's just one less thing you'll have to think about as much. So if I know like the pattern for the right hand up here is this, I could play along with it a lot better. Because I just know that's just going up and down from there, and it just becomes a little bit more automatic. That helps a little bit, but like I said, the number one tip I can give you is master a hand separately, but then when you put hands together, go slow, slow, slow. And then in terms of things to practice to get better at it, at reading both hands at the same time, are scales, hand and exercises. You can find them if you just type in hand and exercises into Google, or you look into getting the book for it that Rich was talking about in the last one. That will help you out a lot as well. But I will have to make a full-fledged lesson on this because, like I said, I get that question all the time. So it's clearly something people want to learn about. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to head out here. I think I've answered it. Like, if you have one last-minute question, no problem. I'll stick around here. But thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. It was a great session, great lesson, and glad to be a part of the community and have you as part of the community that we've built together. So more great lessons on the way. We came out with one on today. Still is Friday for me anyway. And so you want to check that out. You don't want to miss out on that because we talked about the 8 things you need to be on the lookout for when reading through sheet music. Some of these are very obvious, but there's a bit more to it than that. There's actually some tips I pepper into the lesson that are really helpful because even though some of these things are obvious, they're things that even today I forget about. So don't forget about them and watch the lesson. But anyway, thanks as always for coming. I'm so happy that everybody was able to make it today. And I'll check you out on next Friday because remember, we are off on Sunday and then we'll resume on Friday with another great lesson. So thank you, everybody, and have a great week. Oh, wait, Chess says, haha, if I play every 2 beats with my left and I play every beat with my right, my left also starts to go every beat. Yeah, that's very common. So I think all the time. So let's see. So that's something I'll cover in the lesson. You're very welcome, Shesk. And thank you, everybody, for your kind words. I know a lot of people appreciate it, but like I said, just nice to hear. So thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. This has been You Know Who from You Know Where Lessons on the Web, and I'll see you. Have a great week.